Now at 9, a Southeast Kansas family mourning the loss of their son wants a school policy change so he can be honored at graduation.
The FDA commissioner says relief from the baby formula shortage is still weeks away. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. The latest on the administration's response coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Happy Friday. Today, Friday, ushering in some thunderstorm chances for this weekend. Meteorologist Doug Heddy joining us now. Doug.
Yeah, of course, it's that time of year that anytime we get thunderstorms, when it gets this warm, some of those can become strong to severe. I do think we're going to get some scattered storms later on tonight, but these are going to be very widely scattered. Most of you will stay dry, but that severe threat really starts to pump up, especially the second half of the weekend. Today, not bad. Warm, muggy, 86 degrees for an afternoon high. We look okay right now, but you can see these little guys starting to pop up to the south of Wichita. I think they're going to weaken as they push in, but I do think we'll get a few scattered thunderstorms in here later on tonight. So, of course, we're going to break that down, look through the weekend, all coming up here in just a bit.
A man involved in a shooting incident in Montgomery County, Kansas has been arrested. Independence police responded to a report of shots fired at the 300 block of South 18th Monday night. Witnesses say a golden Mercedes came to a house. The driver threatened another person with a weapon. Shots were fired. The Mercedes fled the area. Officers chased the Mercedes and arrested Marcus Lawrence after a short pursuit. Police say both people involved in the shooting know each other and the attack was not random. A grieving mother in Erie, Kansas wants change after finding out that her son, who passed away in January, will not be honored at graduation. The Kansas Association of School Boards has a policy for schools to follow, stating that schools do not recognize those who are deceased during graduation. KON's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with family, friends, and the superintendent. Bronte has more.
All he ever wanted to do was graduate, and he's not here to do so.
Raiden Colborn was born with a rare nervous disorder called ataxia, and in January lost his battle with the disease. This would have been the year he graduated. His mother, Carrie Colborn, says she found out that it was against school policy to honor deceased students like her son at graduation and was shocked.
It's like saying to me, your son did not exist. And that's hard.
Erie School District Superintendent Troy Damon says the district follows policy from the Kansas Association of School Boards, which recommends not recognizing deceased students at graduation.
The policy isn't geared towards anyone in particular, and so it's for everyone, and it's to protect people that have lost somebody, and they don't necessarily want to be reminded of that loss.
Classmates of Raiden say they'd like to see this policy change.
It's not fair, not right to Raiden and his family. You know, the one thing that Raiden wanted to do was graduate, and everyone that knew him knew that. And I just think that it's disrespectful in a way to not allow his wishes to be carried out.
I just feel like if it's something that we want to do and if we want to recognize him, then we should be allowed to, because it is our graduation.
Raiden's mother says she'd like to see more done at the local level.
The local board needs to take a stand. They need to take a stand, and they need to really focus on trying to build good character in the school, if that is what they're trying to tell me this policy is supposed to do.
But Damon says the school isn't targeting a specific person with the policy.
It also isn't earmarked for a specific person. It's just a policy for everyone that may impact.
In Erie, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Erie High School's graduation will take place tomorrow. Some local young artists were showcasing their artwork today. The Joplin Public Library is hosting a closing reception for their Young Artists Club. During the reception, visitors got to meet the artists, celebrate their work, as well as enjoy some light refreshments. The club provides an opportunity for children to learn new art techniques and create art as well.
Confidence. And I hope that it just helps them kind of boost confidence in their own creativity, and that they just keep on creating art and getting it out into the world.
The club is open for children up to 12 years old, and they meet monthly at the Children's Library. Annika Unshin is recipient of this year's Bob Nichols Memorial Environmental Scholarship. The $500 scholarship is meant to assist students in a course of study relating to the environment. The award was given by the Environmental Task Force of Jasper and Newton counties.
It's something that connects everyone. Anything from marine debris to forest fires, everybody can be affected by those things. So it's important to talk about them and make sure that everybody knows.
Bob Nichols Environmental Scholarship honors Bob Nichols, who was the chairperson of the Jasper and Newton counties Environmental Task Force. Parents around the country continue to scramble to find baby formula as the nationwide shortage gets even worse. Now, there are a growing number of bipartisan calls for the Biden administration to consider using the Defense Production Act to increase production. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
The last time we went shopping, there was just one container on the shelf.
Parents searching for baby formula won't see any relief in the coming days. Instead, the commissioner of the FDA says things should dramatically improve in a matter of weeks as they work to speed up production at other U.S. plants and import more formula.
This import step would be not forever or necessarily even long term. It's just to address the current need.
Like many items in the U.S., baby formula has suffered from supply chain issues. However, it was made far worse when Abbott Nutrition had a formula recall in February, then shuttered a major plant following FDA contamination concerns. The shortages are disproportionately hurting families that rely on the government program, WIC, to buy formula, since it only allows certain types and brands to be purchased. The White House says all options are on the table to get more formula on shelves.
We moved as quickly as the problem became apparent to us.
Some say they should use the Defense Production Act.
I think that baby formula is at least as important as anything else right now.
Frustrated lawmakers from states hard hit by the shortages are blaming the administration for acting too slowly after the Abbott plant was shut down.
They should have been informing parents that there was a problem. They should have been informing pediatricians that there was a problem rather than waiting to this point.
Next week, the House will hold a vote to suspend some WIC program regulations to allow parents to buy formula wherever they can find it. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Federal Reserve Chair warning that taming higher prices is going to cause, quote, some pain for Americans as they continue to face rising inflation. Fox Business correspondent Edward Lawrence has more on how the White House is attempting to avoid blame.
And really, that's been one of the messaging here at the White House, to try and shift the blame for inflation over to the Federal Reserve. And in fact, in his streamed interview yesterday, Fed Chairman Jay Powell admitted the Federal Reserve is behind the curve on inflation.
If you had perfect hindsight, you'd go back, and it probably would have been better for us to have raised rates a little sooner. I'm not sure how much difference it would have made, but we have to make decisions in real time based on what we know then, and we did the best we could.
But you have to remember the situation at the end of last year. President Biden sat on the decision on if he would renominate Powell until after the December meeting by the Federal Reserve. Raising rates might have led the president to make a different choice. So here we are. Now, just look at energy inflation, for example. If you think an electric car will help you, electricity is up 11% year over year. Now, President Biden calling for more spending. The Fed chairman telling me last week that the Fed's action and government spending led to inflation. Now, Powell is saying that Americans will feel some pain as the Fed raises interest rates to try and save off or hold off a recession and bring inflation back down. At the White House, Edward Lawrence, Fox Business.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Thomas Ailes served in the U.S. Air Force from 1952 to 1956. Native of Lamar, Missouri, Ailes was stationed in England. We are proud to thank and salute Staff Sergeant Thomas Ailes. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Heddy's next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, Crowder baseball aiming to punch their ticket to the regional championship. Highlights in sports.
Looking to cash out on your current vehicle? Then switch out.
Well, it turned out to be another warm and muggy, kind of sticky day across the region. Temperatures have been warm all week long. We've set 2 record highs in the past 5 days. A hair cooler for us today as the clouds kept us down just a bit as we did go into the mid-80s during the afternoon. It's still warm. Everybody mainly sitting low to mid 70s, so it's still warm, it's muggy. We are going to drop back into the mid 60s later on tonight. I love seeing it. It just got officially fully dark. So these evening daylight hours, it's light until about 8:45, 9 o'clock, which is nice. 72, wind's pretty much calm, humidity is high. That's why it feels so sticky outside. We do have a severe threat mainly out to our west over the next several hours. Wichita, Ponca City down toward Oklahoma City, kind of clipping Tulsa. Just to the west of Montgomery County, we are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here, but I'm not overly concerned about a severe threat as we go through the evening hours. But of course, something I'll keep my eyes on tonight. Nothing going on out there right now. We look pretty good. We do have some thunderstorms back to our east, and then you can see the guys that have popped up to the south of Wichita. And there's a very small little severe thunderstorm watch, and this is just on the outskirts of our region, but these supercells will kind of sink south and east. A few more will try to pop up and roll in, but I'm not expecting much. Maybe just a few random little smaller storms. Most of you are going to end up staying dry as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So again, we'll watch it. Maybe a few random little pop-up showers trying to get going out there, but in general, it's a pretty quiet night. We drop back into the mid-60s. Tomorrow looks pretty good. Going through the morning into the afternoon, we'll stop at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Very similar to what we have seen today, mid-80s for highs. 64 in the morning, 79 by noon, high temp of 84. Northerly winds, light, at about 5 to 10. Winds are going to be kind of switching back and forth. Now, look at thunderstorms back to our northwest tomorrow evening. Some of these guys may try to get in, but I also think they're going to die by the time they get in. So a small chance for thunderstorms tomorrow night. However, as we go into Sunday, scattered thunderstorms will develop in our northern counties. So here's 2 p.m. and then these are going to explode, and they could explode right on top of us, drop south and east. This could be a pretty good severe threat as we go into Sunday afternoon, so we need to watch this. I think the main threat is going to be gusty winds and large hail, but something we want to watch. These will finally get out of the area by the time we head into the evening hours. So severe threat for everybody on Sunday. Let's say 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. Main threat's hail and wind. I'm going to keep tornado threat low, but I'm going to elevate hail, wind, and rain as we go into Sunday afternoon. So that's the next bigger threat that we need to watch. 84 tomorrow, 85 Sunday with those thunderstorms. Monday looks great. Severe threat returns Tuesday, Wednesday, and then really creeps up Friday, Saturday, and unfortunately a pretty good threat on Sunday, May 22nd.
Well, for the time being, like you said, it is nicer to have the longer days.
Yeah, it's great having daylight.
It is.
I go do my little walk in the parking lot, so yeah.
Yep. See you in a little bit. Thanks so much, Doug. Russia issuing a new threat after Finland announces it will join NATO as fighting ramps up across parts of Ukraine. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more now from Ukraine.
This is President Putin who caused this. Look at the mirror.
As the fighting in Ukraine escalates, NATO could soon be expanding to Russia's northern border. Finland announcing it will seek NATO membership despite a new threat from Moscow, which says it will move military resources to the Finnish border if Helsinki joins the alliance. But that's not deterring the Finnish government, and we could soon be getting a similar announcement from Sweden, which is poised to apply for membership after more than 70 years of neutrality.
A possible Swedish NATO membership would raise the threshold for military conflicts and thus have a conflict-preventing effect.
The NATO expansion comes as the Russians are retreating in northeast Ukraine, following major counteroffensives by Ukrainian forces there. But Russian shelling continues throughout the region, and on Thursday night, they allegedly hit schools and other civilian targets.
What can be achieved by destroying Ukrainian schools? All Russian commanders who give such orders are simply sick and incurable.
The Russians are also struggling to root out the last pocket of Ukrainian defenders holed up at a steel mill in Mariupol. Russian troops are getting closer. There was gunfire in the mill on Thursday, but overall, their eastern offensive remains largely stalled.
They're putting up a very stiff resistance in the Donbass and in the south. They have prevented the Russians from achieving virtually any of their strategic objectives thus far in the war.
The Ukrainians are also targeting the Russians on Snake Island in the Black Sea, trying to deny Moscow access to the coastline. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Coming up, nationwide crime.
With crime expected to be a major issue in the midterms, President Biden is touting his administration's efforts to try and bring it down. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with reaction from lawmakers coming up.
We'll tell you how heat waves.
President Biden welcoming mayors and police chiefs from across the country to the White House today. With crime a top issue ahead of the midterm elections, the Biden administration unveiled how these cities are using money from last year's COVID relief package on public safety measures. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has these details now from Washington.
Attorney General Merrick Garland honoring the sacrifices of first responders with a ceremony at the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Friday. But as the country recognizes Police Week, officers nationwide say they're struggling.
We simply do not have the manpower to compete with these out-of-control events and the mass shootings and massacres.
With crime expected to be a core issue in the midterms, President Biden is highlighting his investments in public safety. The Biden administration says $10 billion from the American Rescue Plan has been committed to initiatives like job training, bonuses, and violence prevention programs. Still, he's encouraging cities and states to spend more of the COVID relief money to help bring down crime.
Taking action today is going to save lives tomorrow. So use the money.
The strategy is a shift from calls to defund the police, a stance many progressives took in light of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Our criminal justice system is fundamentally broken in this country.
Despite the Democrats' attempts to move from defund to refund, a Fox News poll shows 59% of voters disapprove of the president's handling of crime, a record Republicans are poised to attack.
Anti-police rhetoric has diminished morale. It has eroded public trust in our law enforcement.
The president's message comes ahead of the summer months when violent crime typically spikes, raising the urgency to try and prevent it. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Still had a look at a coal miner shortage here in the U.S., even as coal demand soars.
Ashley.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine and record gas prices are firing up the energy market. Global demand for coal is increasing, but coal mines having trouble keeping up. Fox News multimedia reporter Jake Carolexis is at a mine in West Virginia tonight with this story.
Here in Benwood, West Virginia, coal mining used to be really hard to break into. Everyone wanted a steady job at the mines. Now it's never been harder for companies to find miners, even as demand soars.
It's the lifeline of the economy.
In this West Virginia town of 12,000 people, money comes in as coal goes out.
They can't mine it fast enough. That's how we pay our bills here in the community.
Benwood Economic Development Director Frank Longwell remembers when coal mines were so popular, they were turning away job applicants. You can make $100,000 a year mining coal in Benwood, but coal mines are going through a hiring shortage, which is hurting production.
The main complaint that I hear on a daily basis, we need people. And some of the production does get cut back because they don't have the people.
Of course, coal mining is a demanding job, and Longwell says some Benwood coal miners left because of that.
It's just too much, 12 hours, 6 days a week, that kind of thing.
And they might not be coming back.
Getting enough sufficient levels of labor into those mines to be able to increase production, they just can't really do it that much.
So companies have to cut back. Meantime, global demand for coal increased by 6% last year, and it could go up even more this year.
We're seeing prices climbing rather aggressively over the past several months, due in large part to Ukraine, but also just global growth in general.
Coal production in the U.S. hit a 50-year low in 2020. The increase in demand has helped production rebound, but producers are still struggling to complete orders. In Benwood, West Virginia, Jake Carolexis, Fox News.
A margarine company venturing into the alcohol business. Gonna check out a new whiskey brand next.
Tell me this is on.
Country Crock is moving into the booze business. The company, which offers plant-based dairy-free margarine, is now selling cover crop whiskey right there. The limited edition blend includes a touch of whiskey distilled with cereal rye. The alcohol also serves a bigger purpose, created in part to bring awareness to the use of cover crops as a sustainable farming practice. Now, just in case if you're wondering, just in case if you're interested, you can get your own bottle of Country Crock's covered crop whiskey at mashandgrape.com for about $40 a bottle. Now, Doug Hetty, who likes whiskey. I asked him, does this fancy your taste buds?
No.
No. He said no, emphatically, right?
No, not at all.
I'm not sure if this is, so he does not like flavored whiskey. I'm not sure totally if this is flavored whiskey, but you don't care. Yeah, still, you're staying away from it. It's also important to note here, responsible drinking, right? All right, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to hear about a rockin' good time happening at the Joplin History and Mineral Museum.
Crucial medical equipment in short supply, impacting cardiac care, CT scans, and x-rays. I'm Lydia Hu with the Fox Business Network. Coming up, we explain the overseas reason behind the shortage on your medical supplies and when you can expect it to come to an end.
Low prices, easy.
Rock and gem lovers are making trips to the Joplin History and Mineral Museum. The museum is hosting its 15th annual Rock and Gem Show. The show gives visitors a chance to check out some pretty cool rocks and gems, as well as learn a little bit of history about why some gems are extra special to this four-state area. Some visitors go because they like the variety of colors.
For me, it's the colors. I love the colors because the brighter colors, I just get so excited, and then I love polishing them too. And because I like the process of cutting it being rough, smoothing it out, then polishing it, and then I really I like talking to people about it too.
Now, if you missed the show today, don't query. The show is going to continue tomorrow. I know it's a dad joke. The show is going to continue tomorrow from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. and on Sunday from 9 in the morning to 3 p.m. Two exciting things happening at Lincoln Park in Pittsburgh. First, Kittyland opened up today. Also, there's that. Something new this year, Carousel. During the spring, Kittyland is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Summertime operations also include Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Well, a bill passed this week by Missouri lawmakers would prohibit the Medical Licensing Board from disciplining doctors who prescribe ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. The bill also would bar pharmacists from questioning doctors who prescribe the drugs. Some doctors prescribe the two drugs to patients with COVID-19, although FDA, of course, has not approved either drug for that specific use. The provision was tucked into a larger bill involving professional licensing. A former Tennessee nurse whose medication error killed a patient was sentenced to 3 years of probation today. This is hundreds of healthcare workers right there outside the courthouse rallied in her defense. Redonda Vaught was found guilty in March of criminally negligent homicide and gross neglect of an impaired adult after she administered the wrong medication. COVID-19 lockdowns in China are leading to a shortage of medical supplies right here in the U.S. Fox Business correspondent Lydia Hu has the details from New York.
Some hospitals are forced to delay care for non-emergency medical issues amid the ongoing shortage of an iodine solution commonly used in cardiac care, CT scans, and x-rays. This is caused by the COVID outbreak in Shanghai. It forced the GE Healthcare to temporarily shut down a factory there, which means the solution needed to diagnose blockages in blood vessels, treat strokes, and view cancerous tumors is harder to come by.
A hospital that sees disruptions in this vital supply will really face struggles regarding their ability to provide seamless, uninterrupted services to all of their patients.
The University of California, San Francisco Medical Center has delayed some non-emergency appointments, fewer than 5% so far, but it's also asking doctors who order CT scans to rate them as urgent or low priority. Now, hospitals across the country are working on conservation strategies, as the American Hospital Association says it has raised the shortage with the Biden administration. And some medical device suppliers say this proves American production must be prioritized.
We have got to diversify our base of manufacturing out of China and other Southeastern Asian countries. We've got to do more domestic manufacturing and nearshore manufacturing of these critical products.
The shortage on iodine solution follows the shortage on a number of other medical devices being tracked by the FDA, from surgical gowns to syringes. These products all made in China and caught up in the overseas lockdowns and supply chain snarls. On the iodine shortage, hospitals are planning for the shortages to last for 2 months. GE Healthcare says it has expanded production of the iodine solution at a manufacturing facility in Ireland. They expect to be up to 50% production capacity by the end of the week. It's also flying deliveries in from China and Ireland to expedite supply. Reporting from New York City, Lydia Hu for Fox Business.
A bit later, the Twitter deal.
Takeover now on hold. I'm Kelly O'Grady in Los Angeles. I'll have the latest coming up.
We're excited to
Well, it's definitely turned out to be kind of another warm, muggy, humid day across the region. We did have a lot of clouds, some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly on the Kansas and Oklahoma side during the morning hours, but temperatures with some sun during the afternoon still went into the mid-80s after the past 2 days. We've had record highs across the region. Temps are still pretty warm. Low to mid-70s. The humidity is high, so it's kind of muggy. It doesn't feel awful outside, but of course this week has felt more like mid to late June instead of what we should be seeing in the month of May. All right, pretty much clear skies right now. Currently sitting at 72. Calm winds, humidity is high. It's at 81%. There is a severe threat tonight, mainly out to our west. Wichita, Ponca City, down toward Oklahoma City. We have kind of a very marginal risk, meaning very low. We are going to get a couple random little scattered thunderstorms in here tonight, but I'm not concerned by any means. We're kind of being split. We had thunderstorms back to the east, and then we got this little batch out toward the west, mainly from Wichita south toward Ponca City. You can see these supercells kind of blowing up, but they're actually still having a hard time kind of maintaining strength. These have been mainly hail makers. They're going to sink southeast and really just kind of fall apart, but we may get a few additional little guys that try to pop up in the region later on tonight. But again, most of you are going to stay dry, so I don't have a concern about severe weather tonight. Just a random isolated thunderstorm or two. Of course, I'll keep my eyes on it as we go through the rest of the night. By morning, we look pretty good. We start near 70, sunshine once again during the afternoon. It looks good. 84, 85. We'll start at 64, 79 by noon. High temp, 84. The wind's kind of variable all day long, switching around. We are going to get more thunderstorms to the northwest tomorrow night. We'll have to see how far these can make it in. Most likely will die as they push in, so a very slight chance for a thunderstorm again tomorrow night. As we go into Sunday, a little bit of a different story. Scattered thunderstorms develop northern counties and then explode as they push in. So this is 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Low tornado threat, but a much higher wind threat, straight line winds, also hail threat with these storms. They continue to get stronger as they drive south and east. So here's 5:30 p.m. and then they finally work out of the region by 6 or 7 p.m. This is still 48 hours away, so we have to watch and see exactly how it all comes together, but we definitely have a severe threat as we go into Sunday afternoon. Let's say mainly 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Main threats, hail and wind. I'm going to elevate hail, wind, and rain, as we could get some pretty heavy amounts of rain with that batch of showers and thunderstorms. 84 tomorrow, 85 Sunday. Thunderstorm threat. Monday looks great. 76 back into the 80s on Tuesday. More thunderstorm threat Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, the better part of the day on Saturday, you can go out, do some yard work.
Saturday looks fine.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, early afternoon looks fine.
Okay.
It's just mid and late afternoon.
All right. Okay. Thanks as always, man. Coming up in sports, Pitt State Baseball aims to stay alive in the MIAA tournament. Plus, a pair of Joplin High School student athletes signed to continue their careers in college. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
It's a can't.
Pittsburgh State Baseball is playing in the MIAA tournament this week in Edmond, Oklahoma. Now they're in the Final Four, but they dropped their game last night against Northeastern State 7-4. So tonight, the Gorillas are back on the field facing elimination against the top-seeded Central Missouri Mules. On top of the first, UCM gets going. Sam Tatum singles through the left side. At plate's Michael Chrisman, part of a 4-run inning for the Mules. The Gorillas respond in their half of the frame. Garrett McGowan connects for a 2-run blast out to right, his 18th homer of the season. Just a few minutes later, Jordan Maxson all over this one. He gets his 18th homer of the season. Gorillas were within 1 after 1, but from there, it was all Central Missouri. Gorillas fall 15-4, ending their season with a 31-21 overall record. The Crowder College Rough Riders face Jefferson College today in the Region 16 tournament in Joplin. The winner moves on to the regional championship tomorrow. Starting out in the bottom of the second, it's Landry Wilkerson pulling one through the right side. Wilkerson puts a little pressure on him, forces a throw to second, gets away. Jackson Cobb scores on that, put Crowder in the lead. Now to the 8th, Josh Patrick hammers it to right, bounces it all the way to the fence. One runner scores, but Patrick, check it out, all the way around for the inside the park home run. Crowder scores 4 today, and that was plenty for Jacob Mizarowski. The LSU signee goes 7 2/3 shutout innings, allows just 3 hits, strikes out 18 batters. Crowder advances to the regional championship 4-1. Well, one of the best all-around high school athletes in southeast Kansas signs today to continue his career in college. Frontenac's Colin McCartney will play baseball at the next level, signing today to play at Fort Scott Community College. I say McCartney is one of the best all-around athletes we have because he's an all-conference basketball player and all-state in both football and baseball. After high school, though, it'll be all baseball for McCartney at Fort Scott, where he will pitch for the Greyhounds. Now here he is on choosing baseball over everything else.
I ended up with baseball, but football was definitely there, but I feel good with my choice. Feels great, feel great, just like the relieved that I finally have a place to go next year, so it's awesome. Hopefully they develop me more as a pitcher, just get my velocity up, throw better pitches, more spin on the ball, so hopefully they can do that for me.
At Joplin High School today, they have 2 student athletes sign. Bodie Carlson will continue his baseball career at Mid-American Nazarene in Olathe, Kansas. Kayla Talbot will be staying local. Talbot signs this afternoon to go down the road to Neosho to play soccer for Crowder College.
He reached out to me very quickly, and I was very nervous and like very excited at the same time. I tried not to cry when I got the opportunity, like when he talked to me and stuff. I was very excited and just was very grateful for the opportunity.
I went on a visit there, and it just felt like a really good fit. Right now, I'm just trying to be the best that I can be, give myself the best opportunity. I got some older guys that are ahead of me right now, but just trying to work hard to make the best of my opportunities that I do get.
And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Bruce Campbell brings.
Elon Musk's deal to take over Twitter is now in flux. The Tesla Motors CEO says he's putting the move on pause. Fox Business correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more.
Elon Musk says he remains committed to acquiring Twitter, but he wants more information. The Tesla billionaire temporarily put his $44 billion deal on hold Friday, tweeting that he wanted to examine the number of spam accounts on the site. In a quarterly filing, Twitter estimated the accounts represent less than 5% of users, but admitted that may be too low, writing, quote, "We applied significant judgment, so our estimation of false or spam accounts may not accurately represent the actual number of such accounts."
Bots can be very, very intelligent, and whether you're able to properly assess that, I'm not sure how they do that.
Twitter accepted Musk's offer to purchase the social media company for $54.20 a share, but the deal hasn't been officially completed. Musk has been seeking additional investors to finance the bid. Some analysts wonder if Musk's announcement is an attempt to renegotiate a lower price.
We've seen Twitter trading at a significant discount to his $54.20 bid, and now with it trading sub 40, maybe he walks in and wants to renegotiate the price of the deal against the lousy equity markets.
Musk's tweet comes after he made some plans for Twitter's future, including possibly restoring former President Donald Trump's account. But he admitted earlier this week it's not a done deal.
So this is not like a thing that will definitely happen, because what if I don't own Twitter?
Musk will likely have to pay Twitter a $1 billion termination fee if he does not go through with the acquisition. In Los Angeles, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
Coming up, more on a live-action sci-fi series on Netflix. Hollywood Nation next. The upcoming Dune sequel, recruiting a major star, a first look at the new Resident Evil TV series, and more. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
I really think you guys are going to love it here.
The Resident Evil franchise expands. Rafe gets the party started, and Walken takes on a major role in the Hollywood nation. Christopher Walken is headed to Arrakis. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the Oscar winner will join the all-star cast of Dune Part 2. He will play Padishah, Emperor Shaddam IV. Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, and Javier Bardem are among the cast from the first film returning. The sequel is expected in theaters October 2023.
It's fine. It's so cute. It's so good.
No, Mom, if anybody sees that, I'm going to get put on a watch list.
In today's first looks, Apple TV Plus released the trailer to Cooper Rafe's second film, Cha-Cha Real Smooth. In addition to writing, producing, and directing, Rafe stars in the coming-of-age story as a young bar mitzvah party starter who falls in love with the mother of the teenage girl he babysits. Dakota Johnson, Leslie Mann, and Brad Garrett also star.
Billy, Jade.
And Netflix dropped the trailer to the upcoming live-action sci-fi series Resident Evil. The latest adaptation of the popular video game is the first TV show in the iconic horror franchise. The zombie drama is set in 2036 and follows a young woman named Jade Wesker fighting to survive a world overrun by deadly zombies and creatures. It debuts July 14th. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of a baby sloth at the Potawatomi Zoo in South Bend, Indiana. Have a great, safe weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.